Mega Pokemon are back, and they are back in a big way. So much so that there are 26 of them that have been added in Pokemon Legends ZA. And you guys are all probably wondering which ones are the best. Which ones do you think should be considered for S tier? Well, I'm Rob, this is House, and we're going to do that today. We're going to walk through all 26 of the new Mega Evolutions. Mega Raichu X and Y are not going to be included. We do not know enough about them yet, and thus they will be kind of sitting on the sidelines. That being said, these 26, we've got their stats, we've got their typings. We are going to be taking all of those things plus the design into consideration, and I'm really excited to get into this. Before we do, make sure you guys like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the great Pokemon content we have coming out here at Pokemon House. We have so many more guides coming out, so many things covering Pokemon Legends ZA that we are planning and doing currently. We also have a ton of different guide content and things that you guys can check out over at the Game House. I'm actually going to be using this page right here to be doing a lot of the, different stats and everything to make sure that I've got that as my talking points. And you guys can check it out. We've got pictures in there, all that kind of stuff here for you. You can see which ones are the best and which ones maybe are lacking just a little bit. And so, yeah, you guys don't want to miss out on that. I'm going to have that in the description below. That being said, we are going to hop into this right now. We're not going to waste any more time. Again, you guys know what my criteria are. It's design, stats, and just battle prowess, all that kind of stuff that are going to be kept in mind as we go through this. But let's get into it. We're going to go from left to right. We're going to start in Gen 1, make ourselves all the way there to Gen 8 with Mega Falinks. And we're going to start with Mega Clefable, an absolutely awesome Pokemon. I love the design of this Pokemon to start. I think that it really just, exceeded my expectations in such a big way. It's a Pokemon that I've liked, but I haven't really used much since Gen 1 when it was just such a big deal to catch, Clefairy and Mount Moon. But having its wings actually sprout out, I love the little hat thing. I don't know exactly what that is, but it almost looks like a French design in terms of a hat. But having that there, I think, is really big. And, the only thing that's kind of holding this Pokemon back for me personally, unfortunately, is going to be its stats. While they're not bad, they're not necessarily great. There are just a lot of other Pokemon that are going to be in these Mega Evolutions, right? And we're just comparing these. We're not comparing them to the other Mega Evolutions that have come out. But, this one is just... It could have been more. It's actually a little bit bulkier than you would think. It's able to take a few more hits than you would think, and its special attack is relatively strong, but it doesn't exceed necessarily in anything. And while I respect the utility of this Pokemon, it's just a little too slow. It's just not strong enough, and its base stats are some of the lowest ones of the new Mega Evolutions, because that's going to reside here in B tier. Mega Victreebel is a Pokemon that I think is goofy, that I do enjoy. I think the design was a surprise to me, and watching it, hop its way around is absolutely hysterical, and I think its Rogue Mega Battle is really fun, actually. And its, Grass Poison typing is nothing new, but it is, still pretty good overall. The thing is that comparatively to some of these other designs, I still think it's lacking a little bit. It's still good. Like, it is going to end up probably being one of the further down Pokemon on this list that I actually still think the design is really good, but I don't really know exactly what it is trying to do. And what I mean by that is it has a higher attack stat than you might anticipate. It still has a higher special attack as well, but its defenses are pretty middling, to say the least. It's a little bulkier than you would think, but it's also a little bit slower. It's very similar to Clefable, just not, I don't know, it's not as good in my opinion, personally. The flying type being added to Clefable I think was great. This staying as Grass Poison was fine, but it wasn't inspiring. It didn't make me feel like it needed more than just kind of being here in the C tier list, unfortunately. Mega Starmie, a Pokemon that I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions about, good and bad. And it's a Pokemon that got a huge stat boost, by the way. Like, one of the biggest ones in the game. And it may have been the biggest in the game, actually. I think it was, well, second biggest. Second biggest in the game to one other Pokemon that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But, look, I mean, it actually can do anything. I mean, it's relatively defensively strong, with 105 in both its defense and special defense. It also weirdly leans into attack even more than special attack, and its speed is extremely strong. The problem with this Pokemon, unfortunately, is its design. Now, it's not a bad design, mind you. I want that to be very clear. It's goofy, it's funny, it's just... that's it. There's nothing else to it. I thought that they would add a little bit more. I really think that this is just one of the poorer designs overall. I don't mind even the legs. I think the legs are funny. I love seeing it do flips, but I even love seeing it run around behind people. I actually think that part's hysterical as well. But they should have added more. There should have been more to it than just the extension of the legs, essentially. I really wish that they would have added like a crown or something to the top of it, gold somewhere, maybe even just change the color of the legs. I don't know, just something else would have been better than just the extension of the legs. Again, the design is funny, it's a huge meme, and I love that portion of it, but if it wasn't for its stats, it would be a lot lower than it's going to end up being. So we're going to put it here in B tier list because its stats are so strong, but it's going to be behind Mega Clefable. Next up is Dragonite, and there's only one Pokemon with better stats of these. Now, it is the only pseudo-legendary of this group, so that would make sense. But its 700 base stats are unbelievable, and while I did knock Mega Clefable for its utility, Dragonite has a very different amount of utility, just in the sense that it is strong across the board. It doesn't necessarily excel, other than its special attack is pretty strong. And it's relatively fast, but it does exactly what Dragonite has always been, which has been whatever you kind of need it to do, it's going to be able to do. It can be a bulky attacker, it can be a bulky special attacker, it can be relatively fast. It does all those things, and I actually think its design, personally, is extremely good. I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to put it here at the A tier, and it's probably going to end up very much near the top of it. I thought about putting it in S, but its design, while I think is still very good, there are just other ones that are a little bit better. Oh boy, Meganium. We are here at the starters, or at least part of the starters. And look, guys, like, I really was hoping that they would do something inspiring for Meganium, and they didn't. It's fine. Like, the fairy type edition, I think, is actually really good. I think it's actually the best part of this Pokemon. It's pretty beefy, it's got good stats, it can hit pretty hard, but there are just Pokemon that do things better than it, to be honest with you. And not just that, but just making it feel like it went to Hawaii and having all the flowers around it just really and genuinely does not do anything for me. I wish I could say differently, but I'm just not a huge fan of it. And because of this, it's going to go at the bottom of C. It would be in D tier if I could, but its stats are just too good. I can't put it down there in good conscience. Mega Feraligatr is in a relatively similar boat, other than the fact that it is incredibly strong in terms of its attack. It is the second strongest in terms of its base stat for attack of all of the Mega Pokemon. It's relatively slower, which is fine, but because it's still bulky, it still has good defense. It's a 630 base stat, which is no joke. I like the Totodile idea, right? I think that the red head coming down looks pretty cool, honestly, and I really enjoy that portion of this Pokemon, and I can see what they were going for. I just think the execution was slightly off. I wish that it maybe had kind of kept that head down for the most part, and then it would come up when it would attack, instead of it being up and then coming down when it attacks. I really wish it would have been the other way around, but I know that they obviously had to still show that it was a Mega Feraligatr, and not just a Mega Totodile, so I get that, but that definitely took points off for me personally. I just wish that they maybe even done something different. I don't know. Again, its base stats are just more than good enough to be where it is right now, without a doubt. But for me, it's just... It's fine, guys. I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say other than it's good enough. So With that, I ended up putting Feraligatr here in B tier behind Clefable and over Starmie, which, you know, again, just too goofy for Starmie with me. Sorry, guys. All right, moving on. We got Skarmory. And look, this is another one where I just was extremely disappointed. There were just so many better opportunities with this Pokemon that they could have done just so many things better in my mind. But the gold design just does not do it for me. And weirdly, its stats are actually terrible. It is the lowest stats, I believe. I will confirm that really quickly here. But it is not the lowest. Man, wait, yeah, no, it is. It is the lowest. Let me make sure. Yeah, 565. The lowest stats of all of the new Mega Evolutions, which is a huge disappointment. Its design, I think, is just kind of a struggle. It's a stronger Pokemon, but I don't understand why they didn't lean farther into the defenses of this Pokemon and made it more of an attacker with higher speed. I think that that's great, but there are just better attackers and in this, you know, Mega Evolution group. And because of that, it's going to go down there into the D tier list. It's just a bummer. And this is a controversial one. I know it. People love Skarmory. I love the initial design for it too, but they could have done so much more with this Pokemon, and I would have done completely different stats with it as well. I at least would have put it up to 600 or at least 585 or 75. The fact that it's the lowest at 565, while it has a good attack, it's just that there are multiple Pokemon, like a lot of Pokemon actually in this. I think 3 or 4 that have better attack stats or equal attack stats to it, and that's just not good enough, guys. It ain't gonna cut it. Mega Froslass was a Pokemon that I didn't think needed a Mega Evolution, but I'm really glad that it got one. Now, I know that Glalie had one. I understand that. But Mega Froslass was just a huge surprise to me. Really and truly. I just did not expect it to, I think, be as good of a design as it is. It's a cool looking Pokemon. It's got good stats. You know, it is one of the fastest Pokemon of these Mega Evolutions. And it will hit like a truck. It's got very good special attack as well. And it's actually a little bit bulkier than you would probably expect for it to be. This is just peak design. I'm going to say that a few times, but this is really and truly one of the best designed Pokemon out there. And I just love the way that its stats are. It barely edges out Dragonite, but it is going to be our first Pokemon going into S tier. And I think it's partially because my expectations were so low for it, and it exceeded them by so much. I just love the mist coming out of it, all of it. It feels like, you know, an ice, like a ghost ice princess. And I just freaking love it. I mean, really and truly an exemplary level of design with that one. Another one that I think has an outstanding design and a Pokemon that is extremely strong. And, you know, I would argue, really and truly, is the best of the starter Mega Evolutions, which is, I think, a surprise to everybody, is Mega Emboar. Mega Emboar, if you have not seen it shiny, is outstanding. The fact that it feels like a Chinese general with its staff and just the head dressing and just every part of it is just, it's peak. I mean, it really is. It's so good in terms of its design and the way that they, you know, maneuvered its stats for it to work the way that it does, where it is, you know, pretty beefy. It can hit hard. I think it's got one of the highest like base HPs of all these Mega Evolutions. It's just really good. I have zero issues with it. It's only going to be slightly behind Mega Froslass because I was slightly hoping that they would change the fire fighting typing, but you know, that's just a small takeaway from it. The rest of it is absolutely outstanding. I didn't end up picking it for my team. I should have talked about real quickly as well. The Feraligatr getting dragon typing was outstanding. That's part of the reason why it's in B tier as well. But this one, just having fighting typing, I wish it would have done something maybe a little different. Maybe Fire Steel would have been really cool. But either way, I'm not complaining. The rest of this is just a really good designed, well-designed Pokemon, and like one of my favorites for sure. We got another great Pokemon. Wow, I forgot that we had all of these in a row when I made a list earlier, and I forgot to record my voice. So yay for that one. I've checked multiple times. That's what you guys have seen me doing down here, is checking to make sure that I have that in there. Also, let me know how I'm doing in the comment section. Are you guys hating this? Loving it? Maybe both. I don't know. A little bit of both, I should say. Let me know if your favorite's getting ranked where it needs to be. But yeah, Excadrill, dude, such a great Pokemon. I love it. The ground steel typing is amazing. It actually got a really nice stat boost, in my opinion. And I really like the design. I think, you know, it being a drill, that's the whole thing. And they just went all in, and it looks like, you know, one of those, like, you know, rare metal, like, down into the crust of the earth drills that we have. And I just think that they did such a good job. The head dressing takes a tiny bit away from me, but I think the coloring and every other part of it works really well. It actually has the single highest attack stat of all of these Pokemon. It is much faster than you think and a lot bulkier than you would think as well. Now, it is going to get hit relatively hard by, you know, like earthquakes and water Pokemon, stuff like that. But other than that, I think it's just a really good Pokemon. I genuinely cannot express how much I love it. So much so that it is going to the very top of this list for right now. I cannot say if it's going to stay there or not. It may, honestly. I reserve the right to change things at the end of this video, by the way, once we get everything done. But I just think it's an excellent design. I think it's an excellent Pokemon overall. Great typing, great stats. It deserves to be up here in S tier in my mind. All right, we are up to Scolipede here. And Scolipede was another one that I really didn't expect to get a Mega Evolution, and I am just so incredibly glad that it did. The changing of the coloring, I think, looks so good. The new armor, along with the awesome swords, you know, for its antenna, like, just really extending. I think this Pokemon is just, it's incredible. I think it's one of the best designs in the entire game. I think that its stats are really strong as well. The only knock on it is that it's bug poison. I almost wish that they had gone steel poison, something like that. I think would have been really cool for this Pokemon. And other than that, though, it's really good. Sorry, I should say its health is still pretty low for what I would expect for a bulky, you know, attacker, and it's a little slow, I guess. But other than that, like, I wish they would have just taken some of the stats from special attack and put it elsewhere. But other than that, it's just a great design. It's a good Pokemon. I don't have many complaints about it. That being said, it is going to go here in the A tier. I think its stats are lower than a lot of these other Pokemon that are above it, and its identity is strong, but there are just a few changes that I really would have liked to have seen them make. They didn't, and that's okay, but because of the bugs, poison typing, it's just going to have to be here in A tier. Next up is Mega Scrafty. Another great design. Like, really and truly, they could not have made a better Mega Scrafty in my mind. I love the color change. I love the hood up. I love just the vibe that it has overall. It is very strong defensively. I wish it had a little bit more health, but that aside, its special defense and defense, I believe, are the highest combined, or very close to it. It is slow, which is fine, but it's a good attacker. It's a good wall, and it's a great typing. It's a good-looking Pokemon. Again, I wish it was just a little bit better in terms of health, and I still think its design is a little bit more of the basic. It's still very good, but it didn't change the main, like, Pokemon all that much necessarily, but it's still just really good. Peak Pokemon for me. I really love it. It's going to be there in A tier. I think deservedly so. We've got Eelektross, and Eelektross is interesting. I really enjoy the, like, dragon, the Chinese, like, dragon kite design of it. I think that that's really cool, honestly. I really enjoyed the fact that, you know, they gave it, I think, some great stats. It can very much do just about anything. The utility for it is pretty strong overall. It's got a very high base stat. It's a lot bulkier than you think it's going to be as well. It's a little bit slower, but considering everything else that it has going for it, that's not a big issue. The problem becomes that I think it just staying as a base electric type is not super ideal. I wish that they had done something a little different with it. I think, like, electric flying would have been fine. Electric ground, I've always thought it was electric ground, even though, you know, it's not. And obviously, but I wish that they would have given it another typing or something like that. It might have made it too strong, but and its design is good. It's just not one of the best ones to me. Because of that, unfortunately, I am going to be putting it just above Feraligatr. Again, I like the design better than Feraligatr and Starmie. Its identity is good. It's got very strong stats. I mean, it's only just behind Feraligatr in overall stats, but I just wish they had done a little bit more with it, because it could have very easily been up here in the A or S tier. Moving on, we have Chandelure. And this is another Pokemon that I wish they'd done a little bit more with its design. But overall, it's still a very strong one. I mean, what else would you do to make it just a more ornate, better-looking Chandelure? That part of it's great. No problem with that. It is also the second best in terms of special attack. There's only one Pokemon that's stronger, and that's just because, well, you'll see why. But it's very much like kept its identity. Its defenses, both specially and physically, are a lot better than you would think that it would be. It's fast enough. I mean, it's got 620 base stats. I mean, it is basically like one of the starters in terms of its base stats. I just was hoping for a little bit more from it. I can't exactly explain why. I don't hate this design. I also just don't love it. It's a strong Pokemon without a doubt, and its identity is very, very clear, but the design is one of the things that I'm basing it off of the most, and I just wish it had been a little bit more. Again, it's not bad whatsoever, and its stats are so good that it's going to be up here in B tier, but I was hoping for a little bit more. We didn't get it, and that's fine. Okay, we are into the Kalos starters now. We're down to our, 3, 6, 9. We got 12 left. We're a little over halfway done with these. And Mega Chesnaught, I think, look, like, Chesnaught's been a Pokemon that I think has been completely underutilized and disrespected realistically since it came out. I think Chespin all the way up. I know Quilladin is kind of a joke, and it is funny, but like, dude, Chesnaught is awesome, and they leaned into the design for this Pokemon perfectly. I absolutely love it. It's very strong in terms of its utility. Again, I wish its special attack would change. They just take it out and maybe give it to even its speed. I mean, it's just a bulky tanker, bulky physical attacker. And, like, the freaking spear shield thing that comes out of it is absolutely outstanding as well. This is just a really well-designed, good Pokemon. I wish they'd done a little bit more with it. Just a little bit more. I don't know what else, necessarily, but it is still a very good Pokemon, and a lot of you may be saying that even I am underrating it. It is the Pokemon that I have in Pokemon Home right now as we speak, actually, funny enough, from my team from X and Y, but and I may end up picking it up. I got it in my game. I just haven't decided if I'm going to add it to my team yet. I've been going back and forth with a couple different Pokemon, and this was definitely one that was in consideration, but for right now, it is going to go into the A tier, but it's going to be top of A tier. It is very close to being an S tier Pokemon, but I felt like it was in a good spot here at the top of A tier. Speaking of great designs and great Pokemon, Mega Delphox. I didn't know that people disliked Delphox growing up as much as it did, or as much as they do. I always thought its design was really cool. I liked the idea of this fire, psychic, witch type, Pokemon, sorceress, whatever you want to call it. It just felt like a really, really, cool idea for a Pokemon. I just picked Chesnaught because I like Chespin better. Here's the reality, though. This is, if it's not the best, it is very close to being the best design, redesign. Just adding the black is so cool. The freaking brooms being on fire, and then using two of them like they're turrets or something that you have with her, or with it. It's just an amazing, amazing design. And along with this, it has one of the highest special attacks. It is one of the fastest Pokemon. It is surprisingly special, defensively strong. And it is one of the best starters in terms of just base stats even. This Pokemon is peak. I absolutely love it. I think it is just, if people are not putting it in A or S tier in general, I just think you're wrong. I would love to hear why you guys are not doing so. I love it so much so that I'm putting it, as of right now, at the very top of our list. Peak design. They really lean into what makes it strong. It's a strong Pokemon overall. It's got great moves, all that kind of stuff. And I love seeing it freaking float around on a broom, man. What else can you ask for? Really good Pokemon. We're also in spooky season, so, maybe that's top of the brain. Mega Greninja is here, though, and look, guys, this is going to be controversial as well. Maybe not, but Battle Bonded, Greninja is just way better. I appreciate that they went somewhere different with it and its design. It's not a terrible design, and it's very strong. Like, you can go, physically attacking, special attacking, either way. Its defenses are okay, not great. It's a little bulkier than you think. It is extremely fast. I believe it is the single fastest Pokemon of all of the new Megas. It is. It just beats out Delphox. It's really good. It does exactly what you would expect for it to do, and be one of the strongest Pokemon. Then there's a reason why it's, been in Smash Brothers. It's one of the, most liked Pokemon of all time. My problem is with it, I just don't love this design. I think they could have done it better. The attacking animation for it is cool and all of that, and they've done a good job in the advertising to like really help it out in its marketing, but it just doesn't do it for me. I really wish they had done it a little differently, but because its stats are just so freaking good, and it's still a good design, it's just I expected more, right? Expectations were very high, and that came in well under it for me. It's going to be there in B tier. Now we have Mega Pyroar, which is another Pokemon that I actually really had high hopes for. I loved hearing that we were going to get some, really cool Lion, Fire Lion, which is already a great Pokemon. Here's the deal, though. This thing basically feels like the Paradox form of Entei. It almost looks like a direct redesign for me. I just don't understand why they did that, why they didn't go maybe a little bit. It feels like they phoned it in with this one, to be honest with you. I don't love that the tail, right, from the female version, which I understand they're trying to fit both of them in there, but it's just so long and kind of whipping around. I don't love it. Love that. And its stats are good, surprisingly, but it's not it's not the strongest special attacker. It's faster than you think. I really wish they would have gotten rid of the normal typing for it. I don't think that's bad. I just kind of would have liked something a little different for it. Again, its stats are strong and everything. I just think its design is arguably the worst. I would even say I dislike it more than Skarmory's, just because at least the idea of the gold is good. But its stats are just so much better than Skarmory's. It's going to be at least at the top of D tier. You guys can kill me in the comments on that one. I don't really care. I'm not backing down from my opinion on that one. I just don't love it. I really expected more. That's all. Eternal Flower Floette had the single highest stat boost, obviously because it was a middle evolution Pokemon, which I've always found it to be interesting that it gets so much love. Why it wasn't Florges, I don't know. But that's okay. This design is amazing. The black and the blue, huge flower, like it looks like a weapon. That is what it's supposed to be, and that's what it looks like. It's absolutely outstanding. It is one of the harder Pokemon to get in the game, obviously, but it's just so good overall. I really enjoyed this Pokemon personally, and its stats are just outrageously good. Not only did it have, like, because they could have just put it up to like the 580 or whatever, but they went all the way up to 651. It's relatively fast. It's one of the strongest special attackers. I think it's second. I said Delphox was second. Delphox is third. I believe this one is second. I do apologize on that. And it's weirdly strong in terms of its special defense. It's a little bit bulkier than you probably would have expected as well. It's a really solid Pokemon overall. And I struggled with where to put it in this tier, but I think I'm going to put it right behind Dragonite and above Scolipede here in the A tier list. It's not the peak of design. It's very good, but I just think some of these designs and stuff and just the way that these Pokemon are built are just a little bit better. So there you go. Still in the A tier though. Malamar is another awesome one, just in the sense that it's just, I love Malamar. It was also on my X and Y team when I first played through, and I really thought that with all the leaks that were coming out and everything about it, I thought it was going to be a terrible design. It ends up being such a good one. I love the shoulder pads. I love the big brain. It's so cool. I love the hypnosis that it's doing. The dark psychic typing is awesome. I love that they leaned more into attack with its base stats. I just wish the base stats would have been higher. I wish they would have leaned even more into attack. I mean, it's basically the same thing as like a Greninja, but lower stats, slower, and worse typing. That being said, its design is just so much better, in my opinion, that it worked its way up into the A tier for me. I ended up putting it right here in this area. I really went back and forth with these three, but I think Malamar being here is fine just because the stats for this Pokemon and the way that it leans into itself is just unbelievable. But this design alone almost carried it near the top of A tier. Barbaracle. Let's talk real quickly about expectations. I always pick Pokemon that I enjoy. I generally will use those first, and then a lot of other Pokemon I just kind of forget about. Binacle and Barbaracle were pretty much Pokemon that I've always forgotten about. I was shocked to see it get a Mega Evolution. When I saw the leaks and the rumors, I was like, no, dude, that's... Anytime I would have seen a Barbaracle on it, I would have probably even said on this channel, that was fake. There's just no way. Then it kept coming out, and I'm like, oh, it's just going to have a bunch more arms. Who cares? Nope, I was wrong. This has taken this Pokemon from being one that I would never use to being one that I think is just an outstanding design. It really is. It fits into... It almost reminds me of the bad guy from Samurai Jack. Honestly, with like its head dressing and stuff, and then it kind of reminds everybody else of like Frieza from Dragon Ball Z with the way it's standing and everything. Like, it just has an air about it. There's an aura around this Pokemon that is just so freaking good. And its stats are really good too. It's base stat of 600. It's very strong physically. It's defensively strong as well. It's got better HP than you think, and it's a little faster than you might think. It's only a tick slower than Chandelure, which is kind of crazy, all things considered. This is when a Pokemon can exceed my expectations by this much, it deserves its flowers. And because of that, it's going to be right here at the bottom of S tier. I don't know what else to say, guys. They crushed it. I really like this design. I really like what they did with this Pokemon. I love the stats that they went with it. Just, it's great. It's great. I'm sure you guys will also kill me for this one, but I really like it. Mega Dragalge. All right, we're into our last 5 here. Look, this Pokemon, I can sometimes say its name right, sometimes not. And the Poison Dragon typing is absolutely outstanding. And I love kind of the route that they've gone with its design, but it's still not the strongest of Dragon type Pokemon, and just in my mind. Now, it does have the best special defense of all of these Pokemon. It's pretty good defensively. Its problem is it's not bulky enough to make up for that. It's very slow. It has decent, pretty strong special attack, but, it's just so freaking slow that, I don't know, it's not great in my mind. Its stats are fine. I think the design is actually a step up from what the main design was, but again, I don't love the main design for Skrelp in itself. So I just wish it was a little bit more. I really did. When I heard it was getting it, I really was hoping that it would be more, but I think it's one of the weaker designs of this group. And again, it's a good Pokemon overall. It's just, there are just things that I would change about it for sure. Because of that, it's going to be down here at the top of C tier list. Hawlucha, you guys are starting to learn even more and more about my team from X and Y. I've already got a couple of these Pokemon on my team, and Mega Hawlucha, Hawlucha in general, was one of the just no-brainers for me on my team from X and Y. The fighting flying is great. The marketing they did was great. The fighting with Machamp, which Machamp got screwed a little bit. They didn't know it was going to Mega Evolve. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really care that much. But, it was just a really cool way to show it off. I really loved that. It's pretty strong, right? Its attack is good. It's pretty fast. And the defenses are strong-ish. It's got a good base stats. All that kind of stuff. And it's really not a bad Pokemon whatsoever. I like it quite a bit. I just was hoping for maybe a little bit more. I don't know what else to say about it. I really do. And maybe it's just because I did have high expectations for it and it didn't exceed it. It was slightly below it on the design, but still a strong design overall. Don't get me wrong. I don't know what else I would have done with it, but I would have done something maybe a little bit more flowery. I don't love that you don't have the shine like we saw in the trailer. I kind of wish that they had added that. Just those little things. That being said, this is a great Pokemon, without a doubt. And it is one of my more favorites. So I'm actually going to put it here in A tier. I'm switching it from where I had it. I did have it at the back of A tier. I'm going to move it up here into the middle. I think it's a good Pokemon. It's a solid Pokemon. They could have done a tiny bit better with it in a couple different areas, but for the most part, I'm not complaining much. Here's one that's going to be really controversial for Zygarde. I don't like the design. I understand that there's, you know, a part of the story that they have to do with it. I fully understand that. Dragon Ground is a great typing. It's ridiculous in terms of stats. By far the highest HP. By far the highest in terms of special attack. Both of those are 216. I don't remember that I've ever seen a move with, or a stat with 200. Its thing has 778 base stats. Almost a full 100 points more than Dragonite, which is already very strong in and of itself. Zygarde's always interested me. I wish we had gotten, you know, Pokemon Z with the way that they had meant for it. This is still a very good substitute. I just wish they had done more with the design. I mean, it's got a freaking move that deletes literally anything. It's a strong stab dragon move that can also hit fairy types. I mean, it's just crazy for how overpowered it is and everything. I get that it's very strong, but it's gonna be banned in like every format, so it's not gonna really matter. You won't get to see it or use it very much, and I wish it just wasn't lugging that whole freaking thing around. I can't stand that cannon on the top of its head. I don't love it. It drags it down. It is right down here in terms of design, but it's just such a strong Pokemon. I have to put it here at C tier list. We're down to our final two. The only ones from Gen 7 and 8 in this group. And Drampa, look, I never would have picked up a Drampa. I didn't even know it was a dragon type for so long, because Gen 7's not my favorite. I don't hate it, but it's definitely not my favorite. I struggle to play through it. And I always thought Drampa's design was funny, but I didn't think it was like, you know, crazy or anything. This design is awesome. This design is absolutely incredibly outstanding. They crushed it with Mega Drampa. The normal dragon typing is pretty cool, honestly. I think that if we continue to see Pokemon like Calyrex in the meta, I think this Pokemon is going to be very much able to find its way into that. I just wish its stats were a little bit better. They lean into the special attack, which is really strong, by the way, and its defenses are good. It's a little bit better in terms of health. I wish it was faster, but it's like the slowest one. And I understand that they have to make some stat not great for it, but like, why is its attack 85? Why not put that into speed? Maybe it just would have made it too overpowered. I don't know. It's a strong Pokemon. It's an amazing design. I would have changed a couple small things about it, and when I say that, you guys know that it's going to be down here in A tier. I would have loved to put it in S tier. It was very close. I mean, extremely close, along with Mega Chesnaught, into going into S tier, but it is there in A tier. Now, I'm going to make sure real quick. Yeah, this has been recording me the whole time. I would have been a bummer to do this twice, because I'm gonna lose my voice. It's just how it is. We go into Mega Falinks. The last one, Gen 8, the representative. And I love it. I love its design. Like, how they were going to make those Falinks work and not be anything other than like a transformer. It's just, I don't know how I could have expected anything else. Or I guess it's more like, you know, the Power Rangers, right? I get that. But like, it's awesome. I love that the one is kind of struggling to hold it up. I love the way that it walks. I love the sword and the shield. Like, it's just such it's a peak design, really and truly. Its problem is that it stayed fighting type. I really would have loved to see it be like fighting steel. It's just something else I think would have been great with it. And its base stat is the second lowest to Skarmory's. It's defensively okay. It's a relatively strong attack. It's a lot faster than you might think, but I don't know. Like there's a chance this Pokemon will end up being on my team just because I think its design is so freaking good. And it feels like it's a Pokemon that's been rarely talked about amongst everybody else, but I absolutely love it. If it had even slightly better stats or a better typing, it would have been S tier. But it's going to end up here at the top of A tier for me. I just love it. It's one of the few really goofy Pokemon that I absolutely love. I think its design truly is Pokemon at its best. And yeah, I mean, that's it, guys. This is the list. This is it. We got through Falinks. We went from the top with Clefable. I don't think I'm going to change anything else. I feel pretty good about this list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, make sure that you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these Pokemon content. But this is my list. This is my tier list for the Mega Evolutions with stats, design, all that stuff included in my thoughts. I would love to know where you guys would put some of these Pokemon instead, but I love it. I'm really happy with this list personally. So, yeah, I guess that's going to do it. So, yeah, from our house to yours, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one.